What's up, guys? It has been with 2020 elections, and we have a big night ahead of us. We just got some polls closing in the state of Florida, Indiana, Vermont, many on the East Coast at 7 p.m. Eastern here. And we have some states that we can call right now based on projections from many different news sites and many different media organizations. Right now, we can call the state of Indiana for President Trump. CNN just called it for them. Fox News just called the state of Virginia and the state of Vermont for Joe Biden. So Virginia's definitely been one of these swing states that typically in the past has been won by both parties, but increasingly, especially with the growth of the suburbs in the Northern Virginia area, we have seen it move definitely towards the Democratic column. So no surprises there. It looks like that we are having some results stream in from the state of Florida right now. It looks like we have about 7% reporting. President Trump is up there by around 16 points, but it's definitely too early to call there. And I don't think that we will know a lot until later into the night. So definitely a state to watch out for. Florida is one of the states that has early returns. So some of the other states are going to take some time to count their mail-in ballots, like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Florida is a state that I think we will know on election night. The Trump campaign just said that in the state of Florida, it's going to look like that Biden is ahead. But then as more Republican ballots are counted throughout the night, that they feel confident that Trump is going to be ahead. If we look at the polling average in the state of Florida, just before this, it does appear that Biden was ahead, but by a very narrow margin, by 1 to 2 points, and we had differing polls saying different things. The voter registration data there has shown that Republicans have done pretty well in registering people to vote. Also, in the early vote, just looking at some different things in Broward County, it does appear that in-person voting, voter turnout is pretty high there. It does seem to favor the Democrats right now. However, that is definitely one county. Lida, thank you for watching right now. Hopefully, we can get more people on the live stream coming up. But definitely, right now, we aren't going to know a lot until kind of the next batch of polls close. And we're probably going to get more information out of Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina. Those are kind of the swing states on the East Coast where we'll learn about it quickly. Right now, the media organizations say it's too early to call Georgia, Kentucky, and South Carolina. Fox News has called Vermont and Virginia for Joe Biden, and CNN has called Indiana for President Trump. So definitely not any hot takes right there. If we look at the New York Times map, they've called Vermont and Kentucky for the respective winners right there. Definitely no surprises there. And New York Times, this was one thing that I think was popularized in 2016, is their needles. However, even in Florida, where we have about 10% of the vote coming in, they don't have any updates there, and that's definitely kind of the state that I think we should focus on the most right now. Kentucky has just been called for President Trump. So obviously on both sides, I don't think we are going to see a landslide, but we're seeing the typical Trump states go to him. The media organizations are calling those for him, for Trump, and then Vermont and Virginia for Biden. And Virginia was a state where actually Trump held a couple rallies there, but and a ton of the results aren't in, but I think Fox News feels pretty confident in calling Virginia for Joe Biden here. So increasingly, as we go on throughout the night, I definitely want to kind of look at the election needles on the New York Times website. I'm following several Twitter accounts. Nate Silvers is someone who I've been following for a while. And also looking at the live betting odds. So these are going to change a lot throughout the night. At least that is what I expect here. And we have North Carolina going back and forth. I do think that's going to be the closest state in terms of the betting odds. And I think that at 7:30 we will definitely see more information regarding polls that are closing. Right now, we only have 13% of the vote out in Florida. Trump is ahead there. This is definitely a must-win state for Trump, and he's up right now. However, I don't think we can glean a ton out of the results right now in the state of Florida. But I think that's the state where we could actually know the results the soonest, and I think that will give us an indication of what some other states, 3% to Joe Biden's 46%, with 13 of the estimated vote in there. Out of Georgia and South Carolina, South Carolina is not necessarily a swing state. But on the Senate level, that's definitely going to be a race that increasingly we are going to look at. And I think definitely that the presidential races are going to dominate the news coverage. But I think undercover the Senate races are something that both the Republicans and the Democrats are going to want to look at pretty closely, because obviously they have massive implications, and the Senate races are just as tight as can be right here. So the most results that we have right now are out of Indiana, Kentucky. Those have both been called for President Trump. No surprises there. Indiana in 2008 did go to President Obama very narrowly, but obviously we're in different times where partisanship is near record highs. And so definitely something to look out there. Right now, even though the popular vote is not, it's still under 1%. We do see that President Trump is up in the popular vote. This happened in 2016 when a lot of the East Coast states are counted first. When California gets counted, I think it'll be pretty obvious that Joe Biden will win the popular vote. But definitely something that is that we will be looking at going forward. The popular vote, I don't think it is going to matter as much, even though that a lot of pollsters like to look at it. Definitely something not as important. So it's looking like in Georgia, with only 1% of the results, and that Trump is up. Similar margins in South Carolina. However, obviously we can't put we can't glean too much from these results. Right now, Virginia and Vermont are in Joe Biden's column, and Kentucky and Indiana are in President Trump's column. New Hampshire, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida are all undecided right now. Although President Trump does appear like he's leading in those states, obviously we can't really decide too much from the results right there. And I think what will be very interesting is kind of breaking down what Florida is looking like. Right now, it looks like that over 2 million ballots have been counted in the state of Florida. If we look at the New York Times graphic right here, we do see that Trump is up by about 6 points, but only about 15% of the ballots have been counted there. on the CNN live stream, it's within 2 points right now, with about 20% of the vote in. So definitely something that is interesting. And let's see, the early exit poll suggesting the changing demographics of the U.S. voters. Only 65% of the voters are white in their preliminary estimate. So definitely something that will change. And I don't know how much we should put into these exit polls, but definitely in 2016, the voting demographic 75 or 73% of voters were white. In 2020, it appears that it's only about 65% of the vote. So definitely something that's going to impact the race. However, if we kind of look at the polling data before this election, we do see that President Trump has improved his standing with Hispanics and African Americans while he's been losing support among whites. So I would love to answer some of y'all's questions as we get further into the night. It looks like that so far we have Kentucky and Indiana called for President Trump, and Virginia and Vermont called for Joe Biden. In Florida, we're slowly getting more results coming in. We have about a quarter of the votes right now. It's within 2 points. It does appear that President Trump is up. We're definitely going to be looking more at kind of the Miami-Dade County and Broward County, kind of the perennial counties that we look at on election day. And it just appears like, as we have some more results coming in, that Joe Biden has very narrowly taken the lead in Florida. I expect this to go back and forth a lot. The Trump campaign is saying that they're expecting Joe Biden when many of the votes to come in to be up, but then President Trump to take the victory at the very end. And so definitely something that we'll be looking at. All right, so I got my first chat here. Hi, I'm from Portugal and have a question in order for Trump to win. I think you got to win all of the states Arizona, Florida, Georgia, and Pennsylvania, North Carolina. You are correct. So if any of these states are called for Joe Biden, all the states that you mentioned, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, or Pennsylvania, then I definitely kind of has to take all these states if he wants to have his path to victory. Not to say that his path to victory is impossible, but definitely he is the underdog right now. If we look at the exit polls by party, we see that 38% of them are Democrats, 35% Republican, and the unaffiliated or independents like about 28%. So the election is 100% going to be decided by the 28% there. So the interactive odds have Biden at minus 205. And let me take a quick break. So it does appear like that the interactive odds are pretty similar to where they were before. Biden at minus 200, which means that he's about a 66% favorite right now. I'm going to be looking at the New York Times needles on the states. Right now in Florida, which I think will be one of the top 3 most important states, Biden is narrowly up with about 22% of the vote coming in. We still can't get a really good idea of the forecast on what this means. We're going to have to wait for more of the vote to come in. And we just got a big chunk of the vote coming in from the state of Florida. We now have 31% of the vote in, and Joe Biden is up by 3 points. So definitely a substantial part of the vote in. And Joe Biden appears with around 3 million of the expected 10 million votes coming from Florida. It does look like that Joe Biden is up by 3 points. So definitely an interesting development here. I expect it to flip back and forth for sure. But definitely something that we are going to be looking at going forward. I do expect that Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania on the East Coast will be some of the most important states. Pennsylvania, we're not going to know a lot until later, and it appears like North Carolina has delayed some of the polling times when they're going to close. So we're probably not going to hear a lot from North Carolina until later. Um, let's see, where am I seeing this? I'm mainly getting my results. I'm switching between Fox News and CNN, and then I'm looking at several different things. The predict it. I'm looking at the New York Times results as they come in. I found that they're kind of the most accurate and have the most up to date information. But I'm looking at a lot of different things. Different things on Twitter too. If you just search the trends there. But some things that you definitely have to uh, watch in Florida is that there definitely is some disinformation here. So it appears that right now we have about 42 to 50% in Florida, and Biden is up by 5 points. So Biden has definitely taken the lead in Florida. I honestly think that if Biden wins Florida early in the night, we will be able to call this race pretty early. Different um, different people are reporting things, but increasingly it is looking like Biden is taking a lead in the state of Florida. Something definitely to look at as we go forward. In 2016, Florida went back and forth a lot. So, and we don't have over 50% of the vote in there, so we can't really take a ton of information from Florida. But still, as we go on later into the night, if Biden wins Florida, if we look at the predicted coverage, if Biden wins Florida, then he has over a 99% chance to win. And I'm looking at the 538 interactive map. If Biden wins Florida, then the election is over, and Joe Biden will be elected our 46th president of the United States. Obviously, I don't want to call anything too early, but this is something that increasingly that we are going to look at. And Florida has been known to go back and forth. And the Trump campaign even came out and said that it might appear that Joe Biden is up in Florida early, but that there'll be a lot of votes coming in for Trump later in the night. So definitely something that we want to keep on our radar. We don't want to call in any of these seats too early. So definitely something that we're going to look at. Overall in Florida, on the CNN map, 38% of the state is in. Joe Biden is up by a couple of points, by 2 points. And one county that we should definitely look at is in Sumter County, which is typically a conservative county. But it appears that like Joe Biden is kind of coming into that conservative base some. Georgia, we aren't having a lot of data coming in from Georgia. We have about 3% of the vote in, which doesn't mean anything. I think Biden is currently ahead in Georgia, but obviously nothing that we can really take from this right now. But Florida is where all of our attention is right now, with about some data. Obviously, this is the in-person data is going to be counted first from the early voting. People are still in line voting, especially in the Panhandle, that's in the Central Time Zone. But it does look like that Joe Biden in Florida. And I think I might have spoke too soon. With 40% of the vote in Florida right now, 41% of the vote, it appears that Donald Trump has retaken the lead. So this is something that I expect that we will see all night in the state of Florida as different votes get counted. That the Panhandle, some spots there will definitely be counted last. So because they're in the Central Time Zone, and some people simply just haven't voted there. And the Panhandle typically does tend to be more conservative. You can think of the Panhandle as being southern Alabama. Um, but if we look at some on the county level, in the Miami-Dade County, it appears that Republicans are kind of eking into the Democrats' margin. In Broward County recently, we did see that the Democratic turnout does seem to be robust there in person. But we are seeing turnout numbers in we are seeing turnout numbers in Florida by a significant margin. One thing that's pretty interesting is Hillary Clinton won Miami-Dade County by about 30 points. With 84% reporting in the state of Florida, Biden is only up there by about 9 points. So definitely not a great margin for Joe Biden right now. If we look at the New York Times, definitely Broward County, Joe Biden is ahead more, but Miami-Dade County is not looking good for Joe Biden right now. Definitely, Miami is a more diverse diverse county right there, and the fact that Joe Biden is not performing there right now might be an indication that this race is going to be a lot closer than we originally thought. So earlier in this live stream, I said that we might see Florida going to Joe Biden, but right now, all the indications that we're looking at right now, it appears like that Florida, according to the New York Times forecast, we can now say that Donald Trump has an 84% chance to win in the state of Florida. So it's definitely leaning towards Joe Biden. So this is a very, very interesting development. I think we're looking a lot in the Miami-Dade County, and Joe Biden's underperforming a lot there. And we can see that in the state of Florida, it does look like that Donald Trump is going to win there. He has an 86% chance to win. And so that's something that increasingly we are going to look at. Wow. I think this is definitely this race is just getting closer by the moment. When we look at North Carolina, right now it currently has a 65% chance of going to Joe Biden, but I think this is a lot based on the polls. And we don't know a lot right now. And in Georgia, the New York Times says this is about a coin flip. So definitely, as we get more information in from Florida, we're going to want to count that in. And right now, the New York Times model projects that Donald Trump would win Florida right now by 3.2 points, which is definitely a pretty intense margin right here. Nicholas Hurley asks, who did you vote for? Right now, I am not going to say that. I'm just going to focus on getting the election results coming in. But it does appear like in Florida, with 50% of the vote in, that Donald Trump is in the lead. Obviously, new information is going to be coming in by the minute. But both campaigns are saying that that their candidate is doing well in Florida. But if we look at the objective New York Times meter, it appears that Trump is doing better in the state of Florida than thought before, and we might see kind of this red wave that some people are talking about. With the betting odds in Florida, the Republicans are now a minus 300 point favorite. Um, and so some people are saying that it's too early to call Florida, but right now I honestly feel pretty comfortable calling Florida for Donald Trump right now, just based on the New York Times meter, and by how much of the vote that we have in. We have over 50% of the vote in the state of Florida. It is increasingly looking like we have over a 90% chance that Trump wins in Florida, according to the New York Times meter. So unless something big changes, it's looking like that Trump is going to win in the state of Florida right now, and definitely a state that when the turnout increases, we want to look at it. But early on in the night in 2016, these New York Times needles were some of the more accurate predictors of the race, and it does appear like that on these figures, overwhelmingly, it looks like that Donald Trump is going to win in the state of Florida. This was a must-win state for Donald Trump. If we kind of look at the interactive map here on 538, if we put Florida, chances of winning go up from 10% to 33% chance to win, and this is about where I had it in right now. And as I'm speaking, we are getting more of the vote in from the state of Florida. We have almost 60% of the vote in right now, and Joe Biden has retaken the lead. And it looks like that the needle has gone a little bit back in Joe Biden's direction. We're now at about an 84% chance of a Trump victory. So not as overwhelming as we had before, but definitely still it does appear that Donald Trump holds an advantage in the state of Florida. So let me kind of go to the chat to answer some of the questions. It looks like that we're getting a new host of polls coming out pretty soon. It looks like that Ohio, the polls have just closed. In North Carolina, they were made earlier. They have just closed. Let's see in the chat. Joaquin Martin says, "Hey, bro, how do you feel about the chances of AP CNN calling the election winner tonight? I missed the opportunity to bet on it to end tonight. Sad." I don't think that any of the media organizations are necessarily going to call it definitively for President Trump to or for either candidate tonight. And just as I was talking, it looks like that Donald Trump has retaken the lead in Florida. However, I think that effectively we actually might know who is the winner, because like whether it's Biden winning in one of the 5 states that Trump has to win if he wants to have a chance, or if it's just Trump kind of running the map and him being up by a lot in the states that he needs to win. So it does appear that Donald Trump has retaken the lead in Florida. This is always what happens. It always goes back and forth, back and forth. In Georgia, we can see that Joe Biden is up. I don't really think that we can glean too much from this right now, because we only have about 3 or 4% of the vote in. If we go back to the state of Florida, it does appear like that the New York Times says it's quite likely that Trump will take the victory there. They have it as a 90% chance to Donald Trump. And it also appears like that the polls in North Carolina aren't going to close until later, so we aren't going to have a ton of information from there. I would love for y'all to interact in the chat. Let me know what you want me to cover. Looking at Florida right now, it's increasingly looking like that Trump is going to win this state, and the betting odds are reflecting it right now. If we look at the betting odds, they're very much in Trump's favor. And what we are seeing early right now is that in Miami-Dade County, Donald Trump is doing a lot better than previously anticipated. I mean, Hillary Clinton was up by about 30 points. If we look at the overall betting odds, it does appear like that Donald Trump has improved some, but not insanely. Joe Biden is still the favorite. So looking at it there. All right, guys, I've been on here for about 30 minutes. I think I'm going to hop back on later tonight, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Thanks, guys.